they're not going to allow the NFLPA to publicize these report cards of NFL teams anymore. J.J. Watt was upset about it. He posted on X, NFL won't let actual players grade the workplace they attend every single day, but they'll allow a third-party grading service to display their rankings of players on national TV every Sunday night. Obviously a reference to the PFF grades that we get on Sunday Night Football during those broadcasts. Pine Needle 1 on YouTube actually said this. The court documents showed NFLPA discarded certain teams' positive grades to fit a narrative of teams the Players Association didn't like. That's why they've lost the court case. So there was a clause in the agreement between the players and the teams. You know, you can't go out of your way to say anything that makes the other side look bad, right? Like Players Association members can't go out and say, well, here's why the Jets suck all the time, or here's why everything's terrible in Cleveland. And that's what they're using, that clause, to remove the publication of these NFLPA grades of teams going forward. But there were teams that actually took the public embarrassment, Kate, and used it to make positive changes, like the Patriots, the Cardinals. They both agreed to build new practice facilities. I know the Steelers, in one instance, have had to start considering, like, their weight room is jammed in really tight at one corner of the facility. How are we going to change that? Teams were being called out for things that NFL players weren't comfortable with. I didn't have a problem with this, especially for teams that perpetually were at the bottom of the rankings, being called out for not being good places to work. I mean, we're allowed to go on LinkedIn or Glassdoor or whatever and give feedback about employers. Why can't NFL players do it?
Well, I mean, that was one of the exciting pieces of the offseason was when the report cards came out. Like, I loved looking at those and seeing which organizations players didn't enjoy the some of the internal stuff going on. And it did help it hold organizations accountable too. Like, Bengals finally built an indoor practice facility. They were one of the last teams to build one. So, like, it does kind of hold teams accountable and makes those, and maybe it is like some of those destinations that aren't as sexy, all of a sudden you build a bright, shiny practice facility and maybe more players want to come. You win a couple more games next season, that type of thing. So I understand, like, the owners don't want to get completely blasted by their players, but I feel like that's luxury is not the right word, but something that the players should be able to do is say, okay, I'm not a fan of this in the workplace. Let's change that. And Alvin Kamara came out and said, like, what's now stopping players from just doing their own report cards on Twitter? Like, he posted New Orleans, practice facility, hot, itchy, smells like grass, F+. Like, they could easily come out and do that all by themselves. And so I'm not sure it, like, fully solves the problem.
It's not like these guys don't talk to each other either, right? And It's not like they're not represented by the same group of maybe like 20 or 30 agents or agencies that all share information too. Everybody knows which places have the best facilities, the best working conditions. And so this isn't going to change what the players know. It's going to change what the public knows. Right. And I don't know if that necessarily changes anything here. Like, in fact, if I were a team who is consistently getting these poor report cards, I wouldn't mind the accountability, to be honest, because now there's actual tangible proof as to why we suck. Oh, our facility isn't good. We don't do this right. We don't handle this right. Now I have things I can tell fans we're going to go out and improve. Whereas now we're going to be left in sort of that vague netherworld of, well, the Jets suck because the Jets suck. And, okay, that may be true. The Jets may suck because they have terrible ownership. But at least if you're Woody Johnson, you were able to point to, okay, players don't like our facilities and they don't like our meal offerings or whatever it may be. We're going to work on improving those. Now it's just going to be, no, you're the Jets, you suck, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I mean, it just kind of goes to show how selfish the owners are. Like, they don't want any feedback. They don't want any criticism whatsoever. And yet you have, I mean, we played that Woody Johnson talking about Justin Fields coming into this segment, but also you had the Bills owner ripping Keon Coleman at the end of the season. Like, what did Keon Coleman do to deserve that? At least, I mean, if the Bills are getting ripped for their food not being nutritious enough, that is something that's actually serious in terms of the organization improving and the players improving. So I mean, as a fan and someone who just enjoyed the entertainment factor of the report cards, like, I'm bummed that we're not getting those going forward. And I mean, I know the players are not pleased about it because that was something that helped them and helped their organizations improve.
Yeah, it's typical of NFL owners, like you said. They don't want any kind of criticism of what they're doing and how they're doing it. That's fine. You just want the cash. That's all right. I understand. Yeah. You want the money. You got to be willing to live with the criticisms. And again, I'll point out, at the very least, you had some issues that you were able to push back on in public when these report cards came out. Now there's just going to be the very vague, well, this team sucks, that team sucks, this owner's terrible, and there's nothing specific you can even push back on.